I'd like to take this opportunity to introduce Grace Lisbona. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. It is indeed a great honor to share in this monumental day in the life of Ed Sanicki, and to have been selected as the individual to introduce him to you today. I met Ed in 1963, and my life has been greater enriched from just knowing him. Ed and I worked Special Olympics from its inception for the first 12 years, and we taught together side by side for over 23 years until he retired. During that time, he and I and our families became very close. I love his wife Annie as much as I love Ed. You've heard and will hear throughout the day of Eddie the athlete. I'm sure most people have heard and know that Eddie was a great success as an athlete at Clifton High School in football and in baseball. Or as Eddie, the professional baseball player who hit a home run the first time at bat. And then there's Eddie, the excellent phys ed and special education teacher who was honored by the city of Clifton as the Clifton Educator of the Year during his career. But I truthfully feel what Clifton should be proudest of is the Ed Sanicki that is a true gentleman and without a doubt one of the finest human beings I have ever met. And those of you who know him as well as I do can attest to that fact. Many people achieve greater fame and success in their lives, but few receive the title of one of the finest human beings most people have ever known. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is assuredly where Clifton's pride should lie in having Ed Sanicki as a native son. Without further ado, and with tremendous pride, I give to you a proud family man, Annie's straight man, my colleague with a great sense of humor, and my dear friend with a gentle heart, Ed Sanicki.
How do you follow and act like that? This girl's been with me for 23 years. She just hasn't changed at all. Just a wonderful person. I missed her the last 9 years since I retired. Thank you, Gracie. First, let me thank the entire Clifton Board of Recreation and Director Ray Mastroberti in particular for this wonderful honor. It is certainly a privilege to be here today, surrounded by my wonderful family and friends from all different ages of my life. Looking around this group gathered here, it's a great to see friends that I have known for more than 50 years. The friends of my childhood and youth. And I would like to just recognize a few of them. I'm going to miss quite a few, but just to see the Scussle brothers, Boniface, if I missed the last name, Tony Ramaglia, Johnny Butts, these fellas that I played ball with when I was just 13 years old and made the varsity baseball team at Clifton. It's so nice to see them. Johnny Kozelski here, all the way from Philadelphia, came down to visit. Just wonderful. Bobby Potts, who has an awful lot to do along with Ray in this particular field that's being dedicated to me, I thank him very much for his kindness. It is also wonderful to know that friends my wife and I have made throughout the years have been thoughtful enough to travel here to be part of this day. I think my whole neighborhood's here. And I guess there's no swimming or sprinkling the lawns today, Dick. Friends from Suffolk, New York came over. And a few from out of the state of Pennsylvania. I thank them so much to be here. And of course, I thank my family for support, especially my wife, Ann, who next month, by the way, we'll be having our 50th wedding anniversary. I'd like very much for my family to stand up. I have 6 grandchildren and 1 great-grandchildren, if you will, please. All my kids, grandchildren. My son and my daughter, son-in-law, they're all here. And that Would you put up the grandson, please? I'm so... The great-grandson. But there is one person I would like to single out for thanks. Someone without whom I seriously doubt I would be being honored here today. And that person is my brother Emil. Emil has not been just a brother to me, but also a close friend. I have some great memories of growing up in the Albion Place neighborhood of Clifton. Just over this hill is where I learned my baseball at a field called Floral Gardens. And it was my big brother Emil who taught me. He was the one who gave me the discipline I would need to succeed. It was also Emil who applied that discipline on a few occasions when some of those early successes went to my head. Clifton was a very different place when Emil and I were growing up. And times were different too. Let me give you one example. Where we stand here right now was old farmland. Any houses were either up on Valley Road or in small neighborhoods off Albion Place. Now in baseball, the power of your swing starts in your legs. Emil taught me we should have strong legs. So we began jogging. Jogging in those days, 1930, early 30s, was a no-no. In fact, anyone seeing two poorly dressed kids running down the street for no apparent reason would have supposed that we have just stolen something and we're making our getaway. Just over this hill was my field of dreams, a place called Floral Gardens, as I mentioned. Emil and I and our oldest brother Joe, who passed away recently, often practice here, along with fellas like Jules Eppolito, who is here and I haven't seen in 50 years.
57, Eddie.
57?
57.
Russ Marion, Joe Patonic, quite a few. Ben Marmo. All these fellas are just, I can just see them coming through that cornfield. As a young man, I thought that making it to the major leagues would be the greatest achievement I would ever be able to reach, but I was wrong. When I was offered the opportunity to teach special children in my hometown of Clifton, my real sense of achievement began. I'd like to thank two people that had something to do with my getting to teaching. The late Bill Sershin and my good friend Doc Surgeon right here. Doc, would you please stand up again? This fella here, when I was 12 years old, I don't think I had the greatest teeth in the world. But he saw me play a little bit of baseball, semi-pro, at 12, and he knew something that I didn't know at the time. And he sort of got me under his wing and took care of my teeth. Did down payments after a while. But he had an inkling that I'll never forget, and I just hope, Doc, you're proud of me, and I'm so happy that you're here tonight to see this. I spent the next 30 years working with some very special children, and some of them are here today. I wonder if they would just stand up for a minute, those that are here. Marilyn. There's a few more in the back, but they're just great. I was fortunate while teaching the handicap because I had outstanding administrators. And if I may say so, number one was Joe Greco. Joe was an inspiration for me. He gave me an awful lot of push. And he always told me, Eddie, it's from your athletic ability that you've learned an act of talking to these kids down to their level. And I always remember that. I also would like to thank another administrator who I don't think is here, but if he is, I want to say hello, Sal Anzaldi, who was my principal also. He's probably down in Toms River North watching that softball game. And that, last but not least, Grace Lisbonin, my co-worker for 23 years. The past is the past, but it's good to see that fields like this continue to serve Clifton well. The recent records of both boys and girls varsity teams point out. I know the varsity baseball team has been having some successful years. I know their softball team as well as in the state finals tonight. So a field like this is just wonderful. For me, it is the town like Clifton that hold the meaning of the word community. And that's what it's all about. It is a place where no matter the time or distance you have traveled through your life, you can always return and always be welcome. The honor Clifton does for me today is the greatest I've received in my life. Once again, thank you all. Thank you.